Atenase. Mema na kwa basisi a Miracles wa ha Erica J enso wa ha na mo use cars ebia wo de na private car and as a commercial vehicle me pacho engine oil e wo se we use ye back up your friend seahorse engine oil e boy adwuma brutal men Canada omo 15W40 and a 20W50 brutal. In fact, any cars and motorbikes, abobo ya pragia, omunyina jiatum, oko fita for pa no mo recommend the engine oil amawa, a seahorse engine oil. Nti bo modern ne pebito ma wo engine ne che e ye adwuma kama. Ema wo engine che rough seahorse inti eno ho asem ena make atrewi. Erica J akwaba etesen
now say
bibia boko
apom de na aka abrabom
de on
nipa dodo na e kasa okru so wani tua na hoto
Party Communications Bureau mujina manan so
obi so won ye
adom me ho ye papa afa
me ase me ne JFK oba ye nche onto no bonkasa dodo
na wakasa dodo on
me te so true challenge say NDC for momra no munye debate about
okasa o say about economy and sense my ekoso o mind me
economy ben okay
aden na debate ya de bone
I'm just asking on say JF there oye nua on
yes
dear sreno
onya abotre
no onya abotre e ho etro
sa
wo na call economy we hu debate obetan na Sisi di okofa na economy ba wada ni digital poster boy oni hu no wo ya to abama wa onan nyanye fom no
ope debate
could ya tobo asamba nya wotre na then we musa ni inflation na say economy
na say me busa
na say den
o say
den
na o chechire mu na so tie
Russia could you Russia Ukraine na ubuza na dollar na say
oh yes
say economy we musa na GFK pa
Eric again na I think Mohammed akwaba it say
chat
me do so minua
na director of Nipos near dey
wait local government director local government at the president
MPP for Nipos ayeka echia no
mate I think boko
nyame adom yagu so but me di mu hia okakra
aden asem
na mama ya betina ede na mu yi
afra fa cheme so nim say entansi ene de fa
o etaisi pa
na wa ba studio ha che onso say etaisi pa
say anytime I'm eba na sa interviews because we are
director of affairs
so me that is an officer anyway but nyame adoma me ho ya
da nyame ase nsema sisi o nsema
bebre kwa ZMP ankrofo bi nko ye ma omo nko na de la Bianca ne na ne nsem de bi okrom ntimi asho se be ka ho asem kaka
la Bianca de no so you very interesting
it is as much interesting as it is worrying. Because when you say Debia and me, Debia, I am worried about the revenues.
Yeah, revenues, yes.
Until anything that results in a leakage, I hammer.
But I've read statement from Asaki Awingo, but say no. Executive Director, Importers and Exporters Association. They make the argument, say, in the customs laws, allowed, say, for importer biano. You can request from customs.
The issue, the matter at issue is not the request for customs as advanced ruling. No.
What is it?
It is the application of that law. In fact, the misapplication thereof. Of the law. And the issue
are you open to abuse?
It's been abused. In fact, in any event, there is no such application. Because we share the report by the OSP now. Yes. Almost see there is the admission on the one hand by my minister. They did not apply for it. And on the other, there is a contradictory admission. And a comment by one of the deputy
commissioners,
deputies in Bako. Or say, or no, or apply an old ruling B that was issued by an outgone Commissioner General.
Yes.
But my ministry omukra applying po.
But as the law says, you have to apply first.
Of course.
And I say,
read
customs
section 12.
commissioners, no,
You see,
Suomoto can do that.
no, when you read Act 891, the part that governs and that talks about the customs advance ruling regime, section 12, and it's very clear that the Commissioner General may so and so, grant.
So they have the powers to do that.
Yes,
but
it is subsequent to an application by a person or an entity and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Very clear. Who kinds are part of the act now? Very clear. And you want to mean country me say, because there is a law in the act and there is a provision in the act, without even adherence to the provisions of the law, it doesn't work like that. And
in the Hona OSP can say influence peddling be Albemono.
Exactly. And one was say sometimes, like ordinarily, it's very difficult to prove influence peddling. But what kinds of report here? There is every indication say indeed, and in fact, there was influence peddling. Because any influence peddling now, obia one trompo crass mami. Now, so nipani timinya sa customs advance ruling na. Me, I have had my issues with OSP and the way they operate. Mrs. Etodibia, they need to slow down. But on this occasion, there, I say about my baso. Baby, I mean, no money is the extension of Nyomuye to cover Canal Damwa because Usha it's like a long stretch. Say Coimbia, so I said didn't come home because liability, really and truly. Usha, he's not directly liable. The fact say, supervising authority say, Sebi Obiko din Bonia, you might as well extend it to the Commissioner General.
And there is no vicarious liability in crime.
Absolutely. What you say? What that is? Oh no, my bimbe. Me can't No, in my next life, I might consider reading law. What you say? Enti media a hammer drink kakra. Say, who can report now? There is no direct link between the actions of Canal Damois and the breach of the law. No?
Okay.
But you see, because we supervising authority in Tichinchina, he's a subject of investigation. And
you feel his reaction also justified? Canal Damois reaction.
It might be excessive, but you are tempted to react the way he did. What he has here. And according to Onona account, he had prior information say there was such a thing going to be done. Until now already in Buefu. Until when the buyer, or a nipa, naturally you would react in a certain way, sometimes which might be disproportionate. Say, Enuna, a man kokan, sembi characterizing Obi as or a kwala and as if on. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think extending the coverage of the liability to include him, in my view, is justified.
Okay.
I mean, according to Moamu findings, even though the report are a redacted version of the report, but it appears say or no is not directly involved. And yes or no authorizes say mumfami pay. I mean, like mumfami to me and even though the woman has not applied for customs advance ruling as before. And like I said, this is a redacted report.
Yeah.
You see, the meat itself is what has been redacted. Yes,
Really?
Details in
But details are amounted to the sum that has been recovered. The total sum.
Yes, see, a bit cry. And say this is just the redacted version. Because to the extent, say, the OSP can make a conclusion, say, indeed, there was a case of influence peddling there. Now, me sure say a way. Because influence peddling is a form of corruption, which is punishable by law. It's a crime.
Yeah.
Inti me sure say a baby by just the recovery of 1 million. And Sebi say Bibisa in Sianka Mameno, if they were not deliberate, let me use the right word, and that entity called La Bianca, Anka Omungo Triasa Sikan, if they did not deliberately underpaid Sika Eso Mutia Magana by. Yet you soon said there are revenue shortfalls
this way. Some may apply for concession. Now there is no evidence directly. Ebia me fa phone free asumesi and the duress got him to do something.
No, have you read the report? Almost there is evidence that suggests influence peddling. Because we are reading the redacted report. Maybe
those details know what
or see or see the taste of the kebabs in the chewy. Details nankasa no. Edaho. Me sure that this was just to give us a fair idea and a general idea of the ACA. But details nankasa no. Because for them to emphatically state say indeed there is evidence I suggested say there was influence peddling. Like I told you, it's difficult to always prove influence peddling. Because in that form, to the extent that omutimi say indeed there is a case to answer no. Not just say they are holding them by the bees. What you must hear. And media are a wholesome because obia obe defend any act of commission or omission by anybody that results in revenue leakage. Look, I might be tempted to say that you are a nation wrecker. Because yet you are IMF.
A revenue.
Look, when you sum all our troubles, it comes down to that one word, revenue. Sikasem. If you have enough revenue, you would not be going to borrow. You only borrow when your income is not enough to finance your budget and your expenditures. So the gap that is created, which is the budget, balance, usually in the deficit, you finance that by going to borrow. Now, wakoboka can be mimia. Then we get to the point as you say, yedri.
And the port happens to be that single place. Leakage
that is our biggest revenue source. All other tax sources, but the port is our biggest tax source.
Leakages.
No,
I don't want to say chrono.
Leakage. No. Or no, say your synonyms. Synonym of leakage is chrono. What you must say? A whole sooner AC. Until media anything and everything. Etimi masa leakage no badia. I am always upset. And I'm always ready to support any entity. Ebitimi, stop his adino. Look, finance ministry. Say yetimi shepot unkwa year. Look, there would be no need for a lot of other tax instruments. Trust me. Yetimi sika nanka ese yenya
from the port.
If we were getting optimal receipts, and yes, ye nyambur sumpo ni ese yenya no. Yetimi nya emu be 60% mpo krana. Trust me, Anka, a lot of tax instruments are introduced Kenya because look, all the Sahelian countries, they all take their
containers free.
Free. What you say? Nti Anka fan say ye bibia pepe. Look, minim company bia, they are doing wonderfully well. You're from SML. They are part of an arrangement to ensure revenue assurance monitoring.
Okay, at the port.
At the port. And the resistance they are getting there, and easy.
It's crazy.
And almost they are not doing assurance monitoring for all of the goods are ebanu, just a select few. But if they tell you how much they've been able to save this country and how they've been able to generate by way of savings, you have no idea in a very short span of time. And if we are yet to meet support hoye, na sebi near Ekosiisen citizen near OS before Ediabe, yet to miss see anwa obi. There would be no need for e-levy. There would be no need for a lot of the other tax instruments. Until media, my disagreements, and shall I say my disagreement with OSP and report is the stretching of or more findings to include Obia Sebi by virtue of just being a supervising authority. Meanwhile, in the same vein, almost see Commissioner General there or no the but ultimate responsibility is with the Commissioner General. And this is what Mika said. By our logic, you might as well say a Commissioner General.
Then even the finance minister.
Absolutely. What you must say. But near Omudi Bonino Sabi, and allegedly near by the report, yes, see they are culpable. No, let's limit it to them, deal with them.
Yeah.
But when we start extending, there will be objections, there will be resistance. Na Ghana at the end of the day might lose because you become a ding dong, witch hunting, mini way. Let's stick to Nkrofua essay, the company and the officer directly responsible are Okoma Adi man authorization to give. And I'm sure we can go forward with them. Prosecution to is key.
It shouldn't
recovering. Recovering OSP you could just come and see where we are. Wow.
That's what I say we so on kind.
No, what kind of recommendations? I mean, who prosecution? I've not seen prosecution. Obviously, they will broaden the investigation. Near when you cry, I'm from court. What was that? Kakra yenye. You bet me their court whilst we broaden the investigation.
Yeah, but the other thing, so they say.
Once they say there is evidence that suggests influence peddling, the next place is to go to court. Because influence peddling is a form of corruption. And by the act, it is criminal.
I get you.
Now, the law criminalizes.
Imagine you could see your friend saying Section 30 of the Court Act, where people, when they are found culpable, can opt to pay back. And the law allows that.
No. There is a position like that. It's very clear.
I know. I get
the OSP Act in there, it's not the ordinary crime. Clear.
My miracles are Kwaba. Dennis Miracles Abuaje. Bibi Aboko there.
Obi, divine selection. Now, Obi, Uti, DFK in common year.
Oh, na some me and I in common.
I think say General Secretary Senior.
Yes.
Carry on who send or carry no hona. I think it's a democracy in the Beconim. Go say Eka the AKK in a Eka economy near Dina. The foundation empire, the sort of political system I want to. And to say I am impressed is an understatement.
An understatement.
I can tell you, say, who follow conversation now. Say constantly no number 2,100 views.
Oh yeah, that's only on Facebook, YouTube, around the same.
All figure. Over the place, and the level of enthusiasm or the Abewura party for any energy, renewed energy, any sense of commitment or the Abe party for. And until I say, we are going to break the 8 and you'll be on one. Because winning an election, two things: the delivery of the government, and then the sort of political system na party no ekura no. I buy no pa munfa America program Ghana party ni nyina ye you cannot win the elections because ultimately and yet me more presidency na me kwa kan abano bono polling station. It takes the party people and see yedana say ewo the sense of enthusiasm or the Ababeshe party. I think say everybody is rallied around the national officers. From the chairman in team, to the general secretary, to the national organizer, and the youth organizer, the women organizer, kids, Salam. I just say everybody is committed. Say now this set of national officers, it's merely party to break the 8. I am not surprised. Say in common crime going to be in spite of the period I'm taking. Say your course why you say ya. Na party na gina ye na mama no so gina ye because embre bia opaf when you to film almost every time MPP any lazy trail no na all the other political parties no esu free ho almost every time ye de ni wi na fe atrasend about the national electoral process from 92 bpm every major electoral reform if MPP for every major electoral reform ba ko kre ni wa Abba free MPP for NC. I'm very happy, very excited. Say GFK MPP AC acquire DSN. So I'm very excited. Okay. And your bomb piper Emano. Utie no komo na utie the ndra General Mosquito Bekaya. Wow to buze General Mosquito MZ so call retirement. So I just say ninsemono yaka contemporary multi-party democracy pa so we lose touch kakra matisa also be so di chairman me I think say we share the experience of our party ni mu a any institutional memory o na e bia kan this from the chairman no command not na ho so na ka bia o mapel we fofora obetumi match GFK but you know Mosquito Party I don't think say he's a match for GFK at this time. May welcome
initial comments
Mate
on the Labianca issue no meaning miracles or can be answer Eric any of you am person can be no let me hear you.
I my shouldn't see as a but fundamentally what I have heard and say the office of the special prosecutor no aside a company called Labianca. This is the first time we've been hearing of the company for tax evasion and
of a sort.
And was say charge you almost say they should refund or say they've refunded.
They have.
And Jama Labianca Mameno so raising concerns, protest to it. I think that is what the law says, and I'm the entire Omanpenin and Adranko Kufado edit the office of special prosecutor by any. Say, for the first time in the history of this country, the president has been committed in setting up such a crucial institution like the office of the special prosecutor to ensure, say, Obeboa or Mino, near fix it, identified corruption holes are a war structure. I think it's in 92 Rollins ye bianchi and Omanpeni that John Dramani Mahama by in Koye Bibisa and Kibini. Say Omanpeni able to me to say I am setting up an institution that is independent of the president and the government of the day on your pay. Now on fan war mine on fan solve corruption. For me, it is the singular most courageous decision on Omanpeni bia ebetiki. And if we are discussing La Bianca and Rikeji and Niagia, the glory and the praise should go to the president of the day for taking such a bold decision. Okay, say Emra Honorable Martin Amidu, step it down. I Kisi Ejabe appointment by the same Rikeji. I'm saying Baha. Ebeka say Kisi Ejabe ye MPP ni. Na oh them ya me puliamo. Emma oye post oye oh. Yeah,
no, but specifically Eric J. No, maybe some other.
Oh, maybe Eric J. Okay. For the purposes of the first SCC, may Eric J. But the NDC say or disassociating with fee NDC for position one fair enough. But the NDC as a party specifically raised concerns about Kisia Jabin, indicating the fact say and our only MPP for but consistently some of us insisted say oye lawyer of high repute irrespective of the fact say oye young almost semono me I don't think say it's an issue of Obibeka say OSP you're right and I say La Bianca you're wrong and I say another commissioner be right. Emrane say office of the special prosecutor under the name no corrupt cases no what delay with it now be obetumi age scanner more man why no Emrane so say office of the special prosecutor ni be di wechi na sa wo fi say asem no no wudi no oni wendi ni ya o ho kwan say won so be use mra na e dey clear ho enti if OSP has searched a company called La Bianca for tax evasions na say La Bianca so fi say e misplaced and that whatever she's being accused of no enye writer ono so ho kwan say obe pursue the legal channel enti I for one think say it is completely wrong for anybody to call out the office of the special prosecutor for any wrongdoing. And it is completely wrong for anybody to call out La Bianca for any wrongdoing. Because as we speak, La Bianca, our right to say, Obekwako Siki, is a Ghanaian, for Christ's sake. Obia is presumed not guilty until a court of competent jurisdiction rightly say oh, you're guilty and And I suppose this particular issue, no, and court here.
No.
OSP na an investigation.
Yes.
And or them brand take a decision. Mate say yes La Bianca e protest say emra kwan so no mo ye den. Omo fire. E ma mate say now kind see answer say yes say Freight Forwarders Association
for be importers and exporters.
And so say their OSP aye no when ni I think democracy na can be any constitutional ruler ya kan wasem aka ni they should go and test it. So mo ko test it na say emra say OSP edibima they should do the right thing. So I'm going to say, Emrane say, OSP, wronger. The law should protect citizens. And the law should deal with citizens at the same time. But we shouldn't be presumptuous. And when a citizen of the state is complaining about some unlawful act against him or her, we should be slow in calling out the person, say, Ebia, I don't know why. It could be anybody. OSP, the next time it could be anybody. And if there is a remedy in the law that says that a citizen who is affected by a decision of the OSP can seek redress in any forum, let's give that person the benefit of the doubt. In the same vein, the OSP has only executed his mandate. We shouldn't trace our institution no and far boso and say anything. Me say no conversation about splitting. Yeah. Ebi mu fi say OSP aye na dwuma waye ne yie ebi mu fi so fi say na hwan nie mame be no nko a waye sa aban sika na I think it's unnecessary. Key is that whether she would seek redress or not, or this can be. That is what the law says. Until say obeko ako appeal whatever processes she will go through now, she would be declared say onye boni bia no. What the decision that the OSP has taken stands. So, but so long as a court answer down her same, the OSP is not
a court.
Yes, and now on yet free from say on from so.
Of course.
Even court to grant some from so. You to be called high court near appeal. Now appeal decided say the high court can one can ye. You to be called Supreme Court and Supreme Court the appeals court also can it happens all the time. I think as a people we should be slow and destroying our own. Both the institution, which is the OSP, and then the private business person. Because I hear the woman, and I think I was listening to Eduji, and Eduji was saying the woman controls almost about 40%. Of
the company is big
of that industry.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be too hasty and trying to bring such a person down. And we can call her out. Because I hear she imports at every point in time 23 million, 30 million, 40 million Ghana cedis. I don't think 1 million in the face of the business now, or but it's the same running. But for now, no, to me radio at this point, especially when she has raised the protest, and other members of the fraternity, have also raised protest. To me and Kasa Wayaboni, and I to me Kasa OSP so Ayaboni, Jaim Rano, Namrani Juma, Sani a or mine. We shouldn't be too hastened. And in calling out, our citizens, both the institution OSP and then the business person.
And the private business person. Thank you, Miracles. Eric, ona unka se maybe, mamintio.
Obi, me da se. Minya Dennis. Nkomo ana odi no. Anze akanfo obu baby say dua bataboa.
Ni twa yi twana.
Eno bi nkomo na odi no.
Sir?
Yes. And this morning omo communication outline omo dem omo communicators e wo me ho omo yesre no agent notes OSP and GRE first point why dey na fake don't talk I have it here
na Eric
I have it no me see I have it my covered in class I have it here one letter ahead uti this morning directive your mu issue the my communicators on how to talk about this particular issue. First point, or say, communicators should stay away from the fight or war of words between some senior members of Ghana Revenue Authority and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Bullet 2, no, our position must be consistent. Or say, the OSP was set up to boost massive fight against corruption and to fill what many thought was a huge gap. Second point, a typical example is this case, which involved elected member of Council of State and the government appointee in charge of that critical revenue generating institution, customs. The SP has finished his investigations and has taken its decisions. Whoever is affected by the report have every right to speak out. Remember,
but everything you've read is positive.
This is the directive on the mom. And you know why I'm reading this?
Yes.
We are in a country you believe in rule of law, right? And I'm penny through in the power executor was set up Office of the Special Prosecutor. And the Office of the Special Prosecutor no onye na juma kwa. And I own timen tenase se waboni siri mu ye bibi. Just a bibi atone pono so with evidential proof na otu hu anamo. On say menu efi aban mu ba ya okasa no. So no Office of the President. Nipa na ne ho aba asem no ye government appointee. Or ye aban mu nipa, or a very influential person in this government. Don't forget. Or a member of Council of State, mebwa.
Yes.
And I know ye board member ewo gapuha. You can't gapuha a trace and catch it for.
Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. That was from 2017 to 2021.
Very good. And this petition from 2017 to 2021. By then, the person was a board member ewo Port and Harbour. baby and yema no fa ba connection man for no wura ho asem aba no what am I say in this obetna ha na owura kisi ajabe in statement aba na wo no be to say the my emblem we ye nyina mfimfini na ehu de be kana shame on you.
Aden.
No, shame on you. Let me tell you something.
Now, based on our laws, now,
the report is out.
Okay.
As at now, the only contention a woman here discuss, and I'm a boy. Yanti so be a file different processes be our baby. Mona Moka said two for say up to say the amount for some challenge this decision. Obi, do you remember the very day I spoke about this story or the studio?
Mekai.
I am the first person who spoke about this story at this studio. And I'm a coach on my Facebook wall. Said La Bianca scandal loading. Now they went people for horror me dim atem on me wall. O producer Dominic that day. My main lawyer Fred Dominic. Said they should let me retract what I said because I have no evidence. And I came back to the studio to say, lawyer no so or some many evidence. He should come and dispute what I'm saying because we have something at our disposal. No be a petition special prosecutor. We didn't need you maybe. Quite do a debo mame no. Refund, yes, we could here. What I say? Meaning, sir, premier first case established, and I'm a boy. So, what is Miracle arguing about now?
That Miracle on your argument.
There be the argument now, you know, because my many MPP financier in 20 min and once MP.
No, but the Daily Graphic report, no, quoted Mamino misgivings are not with what the special prosecutor.
That one is there.
Yeah, but that's what.
Let me tell you something. You call Supreme Court for election petition. Court didn't rule in the buy, no. You addressing media and you can see your reservations, your issues, but
yes,
court didn't decision.
Absolutely.
Aba, where office na a creature by the constitution, no. Ureki say that ben Diana Udia or the ruling abano. Yes, what you corner be so no ordinary judgment aba. Until who the office of the president aba. More corruption and the adokro manka ba kumpa ba obebosi no. Obetna say yen hunuka den. Because the woman is your party financier. Okay, the case of Abuga Pele Modeno. What happened? Obi.
Why at the time NYEPDN?
Yes, in the case of Abuga Pele Modeno. Me person me site here demo. I say Republic versus Philip Asibit and Abuga Pele. I say it was affirmed by written letters. Say or recommend this will be near approval. Affirmation on in their case. You say many will be TSCA. Yes, do a diabo bin say will be a crata. Say this decision here affirm say we should do it. And non one near the go prison. Who tell the mechanic? What happened here? Now the debate is as if say will be unfallet and call customs and a man that permission now or more such violation or more can 17. Who caused it?
Is it not an amount for raising issues? So then maybe you don't blame the woman.
Let me tell you something.
Official.
Some of us they shouldn't dare to push some of us. Me can we feed so. Enike to be na wahuno. Abi I spoke here. The lawyer called to challenge me so I should even retract what I said. Me can't tell lawyer and so tie me a ketu be no mo pon the two. They shouldn't dare. They shouldn't dare. Master, they are also about women connections in the doors on the door. Why? Obi. And some cause of portal. Until they just look at this scenario. Nipani or your board member crowd gapo hakete die alone. Abba Obi. With the office of the special prosecutor, me can't report to you and I have my own reservations. But I think say I'll commend him for the first time. Upon my reservations, I'm going no. But take a bold decision. What I say? And I buy your man appointment. Now I buy more big fishes. Any issues? No, to me, SC people I can be. That one is that plus is there. And with the issue of GRE, Urak and Odamwa.
Yes.
Me share any video yesterday. I realized or kasa with emotions. O share ni di me now they can't say na me nipa. And when I share video, no me thinking is that this man it could be say now on your boni bia. That was my thinking. But ebia kwan on fa so a communicate here, the description or demo Ekosiisen Jabin was wrong. Because you can't say it's this small boy. Mummy na president and mom appointment. Meboa. When him there will be a muna wamani dibia. And to say impuno or reservations about what happened that you shouldn't be discrediting the person in question. Because Ekosiisen Jabin, I know he's a good lawyer. I know from a fact. Inti not the kennel when you're wrong. But my issue is ban this say even customs grab my commissioner there. I don't know more kind of you commissioner general in film. I miss die. I don't need any film.
And I say be on the head directly in charge.
You see, Chroma na ye wono. Ye nim dia koso we obe to mo su kwa akona kendo furiata senior connection mo nyina ka ho.
E wo kwan ben so.
Obi. Die si no. Medikin aka kire say eye so mo fifi funu ani ase a san man yo mbe hu ni Chroma. E be ye dia mo papa. So they should keep mute. Me cry say Sikana wo de tie me Sikana owura ne charge ye no wo tie Sikana owura ne kan wo in the said report no
Ozo say
mo presidency for now mo file defense no they say
yes
Ufi office of the president
Obi be that to come no pay
na say and say wo tie miracle say I wan file defense
wo de tie me the argument I know miracles me no ko show me nim said your kasa and o de tie man ye de jai strategy na mo o tie Obi me nim miracles ko studio me nim said your kasa topic he buy no share that kan ko du ansem sa we no so even no still no sign the pim no back e we o see nyina mfimfini na ma me no kra bia no ko challenge ayo case no ayo case you see no me ba order me ba na tika bam Obi ade no office of the president and chair na no ada e no survey ba bonten utie Obi and chair na no ada na CPI corruption perception index eba bonten
okay
yes say office of the president no baby no mo to say second ana me boa CPI no mo to so mienu
na no ye friend
sorry Afrobarometer
was it Afro I think that was the GSS ne Shraj report
good
so I'm on a ranking
GSS ne Shraj good almost say mo wa to so mienu my ade mo prefer say di na asem bi say yaba wo na oye adwuma na wo ba wona nka wo be hyenkran no wo be kire se yenye referee yenyina mfimfini no that was your argument I was monitoring you keenly or say the matter is not finished yet o eti yenyina mfimfini na maame no or when reservations no that was the argument he was making that was the import utie me Obi dia me pesa me kire ne say office ya mote ye ho nsem bebre me ba first we nye friendly intervention stop it Obi first person modern call office of the special prosecutor office Martin Emidu okay circumstances are a bias on resigning the man came out publicly saying say mampeni na nado dankwa Kufuor ono ankasa ye ketase shemu owo mu primary mother serpent of corruption what you say and eno na ma what Ekosiisen Jabin ye na me ma comment ne kakra no because utie me Martin Amidu yes no fight omo back no
yes
omo fighting heavily and or resigning ye wantimi nyina Ghana nyina so na ne wote ene ye ne ko omo fighting no man resigning ye don't forget Kelly GVG issues by ya former auditor general Radumulevo yes on so ko fight ye pamu no but this young man can asemi wonya kokoduro ene Sri Lanka branch ye Ghana fo ikwa o ka se nto kaketwa Sri Lanka, one family na collapse economy. No chief of staff, one family, finance minister, prime minister, minister for irrigation. Omunina one line. Ebi ne good krumano. So these elements, bo mine. No be dini juma. He should work with. But me what issues. This benchmark value na one basem. Obi, emraben na neta benchmark value na so too.
Benchmark value is it because benchmark value here are they never harder that
yes
government intervene to reduce it at a point
I have a lot of documents here from SEPs for now pending for no you maybe after that I'll share because I come with nipa no documents in my mesresa and I'm say one say kwan kan odan no o say kwan it an kan odan dia no kwan an kan odan o say etene the top official no person me argument say even the benchmark value no mo kan ho asem no kran eni omomra no
benchmark value dey in your brain. Say reduction there by now because benchmark a form of tax.
Almost same way no one here the civil war be see omo party no we na aba no what am I
absolutely
read this mema ni hudi no kapedin no so obi tell them make no custom for no ebi mo be fight aban no back say bi anchihye bi ana akoso wo port aye ka ho asem mpo no in violation e man ka na mra na omo de ejuma and all those matters no so e boboba what is it me whatever me challenge ni say me ne nya den enya adwene enu nti na man nyina so anya no I didn't based on it I have it here man nyina so anya me argument so what am I say so what I am saying now say asem na aba no de da ho ye la bianca no side issue asem we any side check the main issue la bianca DS no yema owura kisi ajaben onye na adwuma because in the report o kan ya o pese o kire say wo so mo conduct even another broader investigations meaning say bibi wo baby and I want to say there's something there it's a miracle don't be here and be saying say o financier no ebia
but Eric to be fair
to I know miracle minimum no I don't think it took sides.
Issue basi that's unya message na na ede eto bi ede pa this one bisa sama ba
no mami kan
me minister da botu asembie yoka o se bibie no ya say woni abeso ni obi kwakodi echije na wokono wakasa woka no se wagia tu nka se wagia tu asaba okay me la bianca egura we the first time I meet you know la bianca most me ko na minimum say obi a e friend la bianca council of state member say oh yeah elected yeah,
elected.
And then another appointed.
No. But the fact is, on Council of State,
train.
Gapo had no board member.
Eric.
Yeah, appointed by the president.
Eric. Me know. We need to say me know the OBT.
No. I'll come to you. Maninya need. That been the time. So your intervention.
Eric, number one.
Yes.
Eric, metenase. Nasem ne hame. Because ntoko your penny your ye ni aban. One, aban ni pe bie ni we fia no pa. We defend la bianca. Anase wakasetia OSP. Anase wakasetia OSP report. Aban bia yes because ye ni set up OSP report. Because ye pese ye fight corruption. Oh, tie. Ye pese ye fight corruption. Say let me go and say. Enti edwuma bia OSP eye bia no ye tanechi. Na mum it doesn't mean say ye other citizens no loses their rights of redress if they have concerns. Oh, no. Nyabutre.
Mananya the interview
even to go into the substantive matter. The OKK, the association no contradictory. Because me say
importers and exporters. Asaki Awingo bit.
Who are they?
Oh,
what are you talking about?
What kind of statement now?
So what? Are you? Oh, Eric, do you want us to inform the people? Eric, do you want us to inform the people? Or you really want to do? I understand you want to do politics. It is allowed. Let's say.
Hold on.
And you recommend that or say papa be association of poultry farmers chairman omo ya ba eduma maybe I think we can say okay sadano our friend that kidia our friend Eric sadano say obo powder say papa na friend you know and then how to say association here private there you see o say politics with us here but that doesn't take the right of Eric away so I say OSP na him na mo set and now defend OSP and now set up OSP. Me say a buying position on this matter is that the OSP must do his work. So I just say, and whatever reports the OSP has brought out, that is what the state is working with. After having we said, say, or refund this cano, that is what you should go after everybody. anybody anywhere odi or mining nya or mining sika or the storage nem mom that doesn't mean say mamene say mamene nka say ebia see oh that's what say
the graphic has reported
yes oh Eric why you not allow
me
oh person your politics there but nyamotre we are okay nyina and we go Kenny GVG now serpent obia no nkuntoko we so enye WhatsApp OSP na de buy it won enye WhatsApp obi OSP is allowed to work. Okay, the same way the Supreme Court, the Appeals Court, the High Court are allowed to work. Obi and yet they will be no work court say atik. On my way mu. On my way yet you mean saying atik call court to Ghana and Yebini. Why does he go to court? How comes atik to Miko High Court? You really also make appeal. Because he believes say the High Court can be wrong and the Appeals Court can have another counter decision. The point here is that I am glad that for the first time in this country, we have an independent body that is probing these issues. And I insist that the OSP should continue to go into the broader investigation. At the Okoport wa, menka wahada. Yena yehunimu. Shamino kase CCA, mino kase ye. The Eastern Regional Secretary Tony, ascend me. Your friend is saying incidents via or experience here. You quoting 600,000 Ghana cedis. My business be so untria. And a friend is saying, Sebs nipane kache nipane say, untria 300,000, not for 300,000 mano. One farmer ninti, 1 year santi up to now, omudineni, ni bibiaba potwa. We've said this here severally. Haven't we spoken about the rot going on in, and me Dennis in particular, I am one person that has always raised concerns that the public servants are more corrupt than us the politicians. I have said it severally. Because men call your friend is saying DVL Makoto said DVL CEO eti enimu a oyo goroda. DVL CEO enko J your friend is saying that na me say worker passport goro nsem. Men jin this passport director Siba Fembe. There are individual Ghanaians they are responsible for certain things within the value chain. Omo part of this act of corruption in Omanoma. And we are all victims. All of us seated here. So it must be dealt with. But we should not politicize the office of the special prosecutor simply because we say La Bianca no and not your board member of Gapua. What it means is that, of course, another points, you know. So the implication here is that because hold on. No. That is when you do that. That is when you do that, people will say that but there is a law. Has a certain law been breached? Good, but you are saying it, and the Office of Special Prosecutor is saying it, and then the citizen is challenging that. Don't forget, the Office of Special Prosecutor is not. It is not. Oh, I think. No, this is what I tried to avoid.
The Office of Special Prosecutor and your court competent jurisdiction.
Yes.
It was the report bar and your sacrosanct.
Yes. What it means is that
that's his argument.
Now they are disputing.
Yes.
The position. No, OSP no. Oh, Eric, no, Oko court. Now say high court is ruling your mouth ruling. So bet you answer appeal.
Until you appeal.
Yes.
OSP in your court.
OSP are money ruling. OSP are money ruling. No, whatever it is. OSP are money ruling. And OSP so muntia. And no maba betuya. And now we raise concerns about some position of the OSP no. And I mean the problem with Eric Munyina say it is needless, unnecessary in this particular subject matter to try and drag in the presidency in a subject matter that is not connected. Why? Politics did do with Simsa to the standard. Politics did do with Simsa to the standard. You can't really have open conversation.
Your point is well made. Thank you. Atik.
What him say? I mean, I'm sure this issue we are started here is going to be an issue I ever discussing for the next few weeks to come.
Yes.
And Eba, no more information. Eba. In fact, information I mean, say. Yes, say ideally, category of
information when you're free here.
Your
sources at where? At the port?
In fact, at GRA.
Okay.
But me body. Oh, me boy say. Oh, they you see, you said you were not defending La Bianca, but your actions and
your sources say what?
I'm not even saying anything political here. Me Bianca be political.
Your sources say what?
say unim say the category of goods are they are entitled to
advance allowance.
Custom advance, you know.
Yes.
Not chicken can alcohol and other goods. Frozen foods. To say chicken and can. But so the decision to allow you can say La Bianca to enjoy such dispensation in the first place was illegal. It was an administrative action which ran counter to the law. But Omuka said because of the volumes are already bano, say Omutimi consider no. But there are even deeper issues. You see, even misclassification deliberately. What you say? One say you see when that dispensation was afforded, I almost said hey, but that company. Other importers were like, no, there be mono. This class of goods, you know, and so more a benefit. So people raised concerns. And I'm saying, okay, this is an administrative action. Until never say, so usu ultimate these volumes in the then you will be entitled to enjoy similar dispensation. No, if I was will be a new to me these volumes, you know, abba. And the bigger issue, Kran says sometimes there is deliberate misclassification of goods na urban. Say chicken na homonym. You see, sometimes a bit to me ba instead of full chicken, no now like they will say chicken wings and a gizzard.
There were chicken wings.
What you must say? And no from custom duties on it no form. So deliberately near chicken you ever say gizzard and wings. I mean these are all issues and I would have wished.
But I don't know why the OSP thinks then maybe beyond frontline SEPS officials, maybe the Damwes and all those big guys,
You see, in that case, where it was at the level of Commissioner General, in fact, two of them. Obedient the predecessor, yes. Yes, arrangement. Damwa was not involved in our discussion. No? You see, when you read Section 12 of the Customs Act, it says, the Commissioner General may grant
Reverend, no?
No, yes, a CRDA. This the man who allowed Sai was making reference to a 2018 decision.
Okay,
no, before Crensel went, Kofi was there. Kofi, I am hesitant to mention it.
But Mama, clear. You were Commissioner General for Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yes.
And you were Commissioner for SEPS.
Yeah.
And the Commissioner for SEPS, CCA, Kenel Damwa.
Yes.
And Commissioner General for GRA, Reverend Amishadai.
Yes.
Good. Before Kenel Damwa was Commissioner for SEPS, now why in the war?
But before Commissioner General, no. Kofinti was the Commissioner
General for GRA. On free on Amishadai.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that arrangement was done during the era of
time,
in T Crensel period.
Okay.
That's why the guy was making reference. Guy now, ISC or no now OMA authorization. He was basing the action on 2018 decision, February 2018 decision. According to Onono, Crensel ne Intimun Etinas ye. And Namika said that decision ran counter to the law. But they said, look, just like in the context of production, sometimes firms enjoy a different scale economies. The more you produce, the lesser your cost of production. Jerome see all imported baby no yen shena yen buano. Utiasie. Even though namrano, some class of goods no na enya allowable. And that's where it even began. Until say ye be extend na Commissioner General dia. Say ye be extending dia. Me sure say. I think Namati what the OSP was talking about when they said like you can say no, my disagreement with them excluding Commissioner General it should be Nipana Commissioner General or start here no tell them what they me if you look at the SCA one yeshi
said damn 1 year means I miss a die so
that's the understanding my predecessors no na me say na start here and onya you say where the say uti dress rehearsal I say. Say your dress rehearsal, you know what technical dress rehearsal.
Yes.
You see we no. It's not even close to dress rehearsal. Now you do technical rehearsal.
Sir.
Nyoma is there time. Until I wish say I had the chance to read the full report. We redacted we no. Yeah, it gives you insights.
How?
No,
no. How can the OSP
under Section 10? They will
Yes.
tell you say there are some
Other-
pieces of information that are confidential and third party involved. No, farmer. I've written to Ghana Airport Company. Me know I'm crying way on the agreement between McDan, you can
for private jet.
Exactly. Ghana Airport Company, catch me say under Section 10. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. And yeah, no, one say
on one coin no for Magdan there.
Magdan there, but that's a conversation for another day because you're in way. But I'm saying says sometimes we know or bet you can say, oh, there are some confidential pieces of information to young farmer. But if they willingly make it public, there, then a baby in. But me sure mon cry say they should go to the fullest extent possible. They who cry because we can't look. Says here we are rated as a junk economy. There be any sanity. You see, it tells you say you are so uncredit worthy to the point say as far as ICM is concerned, what you call international capital market yen to yadwim. Say pesika krana aji ebi domestic market in a bit me and of course they also understand the dynamics. So umo who say a bank capacity to repay doubtful la. Uko banks on munukra untimi yesika. Until our situation is dire. And like I said elsewhere, say, yeah, call IMF nukrana. The program may afford us some respite, but to mean solve it cannot like to mean yeah credit worthy all of a sudden. You're implementing I don't know which program will be to me their call. And at the end of that program, you get back to BBI now one. A bedding. It will take time. Austerity would we would have to embark on a lot of austerity measures. And no sooner edu ahuchire ebano.
Okay.
Until baby yedri and like I said, ni na sikasem. Na enyi se Ghana ni sika no. Port nkwa like I said, many kweku kwatin on were both working with IE. One of our major concerns was how do we seal the loopholes at the port. Look, we did a rough estimate and we came to the conclusion, say, our tax revenues, about 60 to 70% of it, every port's neighbor. Now, yet me and it's just like about 20 to 30% of what we ideally should be getting. And imagine if we can optimally increase your receipts from the ports, no. Anka nyuma bebre wo ha wouldn't have the way I boss bisia bebre anka betimi atso. And this is a good step. And every president has had cause to complain. You can say, "Mampenyi dada atemis." The frustration, you could see it visibly on his face. Now, oyen who she ye because look, Rollins apenso, port or kunhu kan ho asema, President Kufuor apenso kunhu kan ho asema, atemils. Obia e complaining. I know Zezi ananse ni omuye. They set timid targets. Instead of setting ambitious revenue targets, no man setting kit way be.
The woman meet here.
I know man not then they are not say we say we have over meet here didn't cram and able so. Now exactly. But we need when you na say set ambitious targets. Yes, set ambitious targets it would mean say saluposi say to me siano. And media I am excited say this has brought up our conversation. We enya man yosem. No revenue ni expenditure there enya man yosem. Enganga revenue expenditure there of course sometimes there are political motivations for some expenditure items but revenue there and found because aban we corner aban fu from bar revenue no eno no de be adwuma nti revenue there enye yemfa nya man yosem it's just like energy we di nya man yosem a ho be chiro later nti yem whether we adwuma presidency we adwuma wo party headquarters o baby a we adwuma bia no mumma nyina yenjin tumu say we must all help to seal our loopholes na ewo yen revenue sources and wherever we are getting our revenues from enkanka port no and say we na ba and found what the contributions of the person is or are no me ba I'm just what hasn't come into which issue who has no I am giving caution. These are just precautionary comments. You see
and even one thing still on revenue leakages at the port no okay for some time I many of mine here a story be on weighing bridges I was say you see at our various wharfs. Do you know, sir, we 18th April 2019. Yes. The National Security Coordinator Joshua Chreme wrote to the Director Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, and in the context of our conversation with it, even the cargoes na ye kan ho asem se nipa na underpay no, even the actual weight of those cargoes no, you know we don't know. I'm telling you. Yeah, into the revenue leakage under declaration of cargo at the port. Reference dated 9th January 2019 refers to further checks at the port. Tema in Takrady indicate that lapses as mentioned in above reference letter still persist. That vessels which come to discharge bulk weight and cargo and that declare their goods due to non-existent weighing bridges at the wharfs. Comment 1. It is worthy to note that revenue calculations for bulk cargo is based on weight and or cubic meters, and once under declared would lead to massive revenue loss to government. 2.
Advance ruling, you must indicate the weight of the consignment.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But even apart from you, the person, you the person requesting.
Yeah.
Weigh bills near the idea of goods near air ban weight ne was so.
Of course.
But so be drew her. There should be an independent system to verify. And
say,
only problem
yes.
no. It is they only rely on the import and the other. Say me weight ni. You
Okay,
get it.
we
It
have
is
a
the
similar-
import and then
No, it's unrelated.
Entity, in what it means, or say, in our effort and support to block as much as possible revenue leakages, the National Security's earlier recommendation that weighing bridges be installed at the wharfs of the port still hold. Omonye. And you know, say, following this letter, no? Letter way 18th April 2019, 28th May 2019, and the Director General, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. And so, okay, the Kofinti then wrote to the DG of GPH, say, or requested a person to National Security Coordinator letter, no, or not sure come GPH, or requested space, no, ma fix it,
Those bridges,
weighing bridges, no, as we speak. Say, and then no more fix here, meaning, say, from all those years till now,
So
we only rely on waiter importers, the beba.
So
say you wait,
what is stopping us from doing it?
Charlie?
When him said this same issue, we had it in the telecommunication industry.
Yes.
Neko fast as super fui by our man be
later can only GVG so by you know.
When him said Nina was revenue assurance monitoring. So you are able to get real-time data, call volumes, you know. I did my friend CVRs, you know, call whatever voice records, you know. When we say na Ghana, we could not independently verify. The records now, exactly. So we employed an entity to give us real-time data, connect their nodes to the infrastructure of the telcos. No, only what they did, they ended up doing exactly what Ghana they are, bro. No, and say when the telcos present the CVRs, they say now instead of say they should be giving us real-time data, no, they would take the CVRs and rather say more auditing, and at the end of the day they get paid for doing the exact thing that GRA was doing, and says, look, we need to be able to have a real-time data. Because they know Modiban, they were under-declaring. Yeah. And that problem of under-declaration, and not just ports, even tell revenue sources, there, businessmen and by nature not truthful.
Of course. So that is how you maximize your profit.
Absolutely. Your revenue sources, no be under-declaration, just like telcos.
But how can fixing weighing bridges at our two major ports?
Because somebody's profiting. OBDD. And that's my problem. I told you, look, GRA is an Ministry of Finance. Until I BSA, Obi say piano free ho. Look, is an do you know GRA is an Ministry of Finance?
Of course.
Mika can override that. Me, I am strongly of the view, say, he will be doing himself a great deal of favor. And indeed, the president will be doing the rest of us a great deal of favor if he excuses the man. Me found because Papa no wabre.
Wabre.
No, and that was the answer. Wabre. Nti as a kanu junk economy they are all tied up to one thing. And Eric Mamfa Wimbi. What him say Minister of Finance na dey call IMF. Because it's because of the reason why you go to IMF, it is one or more of three reasons.
Yes.
Fiscal crisis, financial crisis, and a BOP crisis. Yeah, the fiscal crisis and a BOP na dey ekwi. And who is in charge
of fiscal policy?
Hey, Papa Kroya. Now, so dear Koye, come and explain to us why you took us there. Was you He had to take the vice president to come and explain to us. Adia Obiye. The finance minister is the one taking us to IMF. Now, so you see, back chair and Inti Audi and IMF. Was you He had to take somebody else to. Inti Papa, me see. Wabre, Mampeni, Hunumobo, now who and Suyamobo. Media, maybe.
Mamma, Emma, only miracle 3 minutes, sorry.
On the issue of this ports and sense, I think that's on mine. There should be a roadmap. Quite be fast. I monitor your revenue because they said they're not taking can say you may a nickel porter. I don't think say e-levy and who be here say men are now omi krumo 80 years.
Asempa FM 94.7.
We hear any more broke or any pension pay. No, so young family mobile money and yakwati. As of mine, there should be a plan. Because what is happening at the port no, is so disheartening. I know a shit. Umu near Manubia. Question of Busa on the Yamunti a Dutch and Agana Nakasin. Ubi near Manubia who ye won't call for because of 2 minty, 2 me at all much in tea. Ubi se container 100 and obey import rubber with me to 50. They know them.
Your duty on 50.
Yes, they know them. A lot of issues and and nothing I make us a matter we now bano. A ye be a need so any day who diagro because I remember the day the lawyer warned me in this very studio. And I'm there and say you should be very careful. What I say? Because on mine here chichiri a drew baby ubia so mubi internet the office of the president. Oh, there be not me make us a presidential staff. Me ya na me net here. And I'm a bomb pie say I'm a more baby. No work office of the president. Mona no survey by a small toss second. O can be because 1 hour. No rek is here jabbing ye juma. Mom may yet said ye. Wrong. And ye may be war. He was here very careful. Into Obi. What the young train nice state institutions in your and your major. I made them no see from. They said you're not atik economy as Obi. Economy and yet. And Rami who's a fitch assigned a downgrade number no. And I'm sure say your transfer finance minister ever responded because on the downgrade via bar no more issue statement and you know who say me penny John Kuma say Ken friend said back on the tray also we will control and on also 10 to a debate on Facebook what they should know is at this time any defense money truth and honest to the citizenry baby a dear minor dreamy and ye mamwede momwa ye but ubetimi aka sansem na kire temamufo na e wo se omu se we serious because abaya ya to abama wo within 2 years the economy is dangling is we as a economy nabo and the dollar tipraka enam 9 cedi ba omi anam kumasi o si break the age so the investor business person na or no dollar no didi ni dwuma no when we say you are not thinking of the economy you are thinking of next election and then me no kasa inflation baby eda 31 point something%. So what we are saying is that Montana Motoso. Na munya power way and break the A. The ma kakre no maseno. Enti Ghana for let me ask this question. Sebawumia se ope president edia. E dia no beka se Ghana for nyina so hwento abama no.
Eric Medase.
Ghana
for be Medase. Miracles. 3 minutes na me so.
Obi in the last I think last week wo baby no. Amampeni Nana Danko Kufado Eko Upper East, Northern Region, and Northeast. Any Northeast.
Yes.
Now critical say yebe who say a lot of things are happening across the country. Oko Boligatanga, Oko Bimbilano, Oko share this 9.2 million. Global Almas Company Limited be there into yam and cassava processing.
Okay.
close to about 470 direct and indirect jobs in a South factory way. With massive support from the Exim Bank. And see, it's important say at least you remember a month who say these are the things happening in that side. Northern region, and so Okate sought for the dualization of the Yendi town roads.
Yes.
And now we inspect Saboba any Mio Agenda 111. You see, we seem to be forgetting to say there's a massive health infrastructure going on across the country. Agenda 111. It is Saboba ni Mio di so Okoko here. Northeast in so we must original coordinating council block now. Because a 3D artistic impression. Very, very beautiful edifice. And no, Obi, I think it's a munya time. These are 6 regions now you created and I'm going to because if you remember, during the creation of those regions, one of the things people were saying is creating the region doesn't necessarily bring development. Yeah. And I think it's very important that we go and see what is happening there. Then we understand, say, it actually brings development. Because notice yes, you could be a houses in the sea. Now should be a why you from so see or more office war. Now should send your mother bungalows in the sea what nature say. In fact, Sa area all of a sudden is becoming a completely new enclave on its own. Economic area on its own in that area. Anka if they were part of the previous region, and I don't think so more northeast one will be able to benefit from such infrastructure be open up on regional. Important say DHD so that we understand the benefit of the continuous decentralization of our country and understand say if you embark on decentralization and embark on a well, it actually brings development very close to the people. A key, a very, very important. And I would really plead with more, especially multimedia, say, and yet, to really inform people how these things affect the people when the districts are created, when the regions are created, and what have you. Upper East, so if I'm not East one, so inspect you Agenda 111. It's important for us to also indicate the Northeast one. You want Agenda 114. 4 different projects are Ekosiisen. And then Upper East, $37.6 million water projects. I supply, I think, Novrungo and Nimpotim, over 300,000 people and they beneficiaries of this water project. And then so many other routes are inspected near there. I am saying all of this for us to understand, say, in spite of all our challenges, in spite of all our difficulties, which MPP and but globally, the IMF, the World Bank, even the international rating agencies in Nigeria say what is happening across the world, it's not the making of maybe another Dankwe in US inflation now 40-year high. It's not because of another Dankwe Kufuor. In Turkey, inflation it do 80%. Obi, you cry no be brief Turkey. In Konya to see, a move by 5 for Turkey. And see if Turkey for inflation they do 80%. Obviously, we are going to import that inflation. Because about 6 months ago, we got with $10. If we take in out the bag Ghana, $10. Now say ne, inflation got 80. It means that see on $18. Into now the bag Ghana, it's going to increase from ABR 200 cities are to about 280 or 300 Ghana cities. That inflation is purely imported, and it's affirmed. As I make it's affirmed in the ratings now. NDC for their top on what's your rating here? S&P for their buy almost say, and that was their first line, their first statement. The COVID-19 pandemic and Russia-Ukraine conflict has exacerbated Ghana's fiscal and external imbalances. This is their comment. This is their comment.
And that is, I read this to Okuja Trabla, but his argument was when they use the word exacerbator, not just say. There was something terrible. We've
always had a challenge with the structure of our economy, where you have an economy where you import almost 70 to 80% of basic needs. So I just it's a structural challenge. What it means is that consistently we have to use our currency to chase the dollar. That has always been the problem, and there is a solution that this government has introduced to fix that. An example is Sir Amas factory and a lot of them that are coming up. Eventually, when all of them come upstream, it is going to help fix that challenge.
Okay.
And then the chasing of the dollar by our currency to go and import, it would go down. So that is there. But it doesn't change the fact that throughout the ratings, they clearly, OPA can document over 133 pages. Clearly, the rating agency clearly shows what is happening to us largely as a result of external factors. Finally, institutional and economic profile. Say multiple exogenous shocks have hit Ghana's economy and public finance, and this is what they said: imported inflation, tightening global liquidity, imported inflation. And then at some point, they even went on to even speak about the U.S. reserves, interest rate, my left here, and affected all those currencies and the U.S. dollars and the AD. The so-called ratings now, the top on that same ratings, and I think sometimes when we are discussing the ratings, we should go beyond the alphabets.
Yeah.
And look into what it is that they are talking about. And clearly, Obi, you could see from the S&P ratings and they say issues now. It is not an issue of whether party A or B could have avoided it. You can't avoid it because you can't go and stop the Ukraine-Russia war. You can't go and stop the U.S. government from doing what they are doing with their reserves. You can't go and intervene in the Turkish inflation. You can't go and intervene in, when you say importing almost about 119 million thereabout of cement from Turkey. And see, all these things have effect on us and this country. What is critical at this point, creating the difference between us and the others, is that one government has the capacity to be able to deal with it and deal with it permanently. And that, for me, I think is crucial. And then, in the midst of these challenges, now imported, external, the government is still going about developing the country in every corner and at the same time socially intervening in the lives of the people. I think it's crucial, and we must just be patient with ourselves as we get through this difficult